Hey guys! So, today I'm going to be doing my June wrap-up, which I know, it's late, it's almost the end of July. But life got busy and I have been tired lately. Work got really busy and obviously there's all the kinds of crazy stuff going on in the world right now, and yeah, so I've been stressed. And I just haven't really felt like, not necessarily not filming, but I just don't want to edit right now. But we're just gonna get on into it. So in the month of June, I read 31 books. Yeah, 31. Listen, when I'm really stressed and stuff, I just read and I escape. So that's what happened. The first book I read in June was Twilight of the Elves by Zach Lauren Clark, which is the second book in the Adventurers Guild series, and I love these books. They're so much fun. I have found that middle grade fantasy is the best thing to listen to on audio because it's so whimsical and atmospheric, and it's so much fun for me to listen to while I'm at work. So I love those. Ugh, so good. So I gave this one a 4 out of the ending. It had one of my least favorite tropes and I was fucking mad. But I'm hoping that they're gonna get the audiobook for the third one soon because I just want to read it. I might even have to just read the physical one because I need to know, after that cliffhanger, I need to know the things. Also, Bun Bun is here and Bun Bun's helping me. So just in case you're wondering, I'm currently rereading the Ouran High School Host Club manga series, so that's what's happening there. The next book I read was The Last Ever After by Soman Shinani, which is the last book, or not the last book, it was the last book, but then he added more to it, but it's one of the books in the School for Good and Evil series thing, whatever. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was way too long. It was a lot of back and forth that wasn't necessary. This book easily could have been 300 pages as opposed to the over 600 that it was. So it definitely could have been cut in half, I think. And yeah, I basically just read this just because I wanted to finish it. I doubt I'm gonna read the next 2 or however many more he added, because technically it was just supposed to be the original trilogy. So I'm probably just gonna leave it at that because I honestly don't really care. The next book I read was Charlie Bone and the Invisible Boy by Ginny Nimmin. This is the third book in the Charlie Bone series, which again, this was one that I read when I was little, and they were all worth 10 AR points, which is why I would always read these. And I remember just loving them, but I never finished the series, so I have the entire series now. I own it, and I just really want to go back through and just finish these up so I can know how it all ended, because I never found that out. I think I got up to book 6 and then I didn't finish. So yeah, but I do really enjoy these. They're super fast to read and I just love the little quirks of all the characters and stuff. I think they're just super fun. And I gave that one a 3 out of 5 stars. Now the next book I read, we're gonna have to take some time. We're gonna have to take some time, guys, because this is now my new all-time favorite book. And if you guys didn't know, I actually have had the same all-time favorite book since I was about 12. I read this book called Dream Boy by Jim Grizzly, which is over there. You guys have seen it before. I've talked about it before. But that has been my favorite book for so long. I even would rewrite my favorite scenes in a notebook so that I could read them in class. And the teachers would think I was taking notes or doing whatever, So I did that, and yeah, I just love that book with my whole entire being, and I still love that book, but I think this one might have beaten it out of the top spot, and that is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I listened to the audiobook in the month of June, and it was just fantastic. I was it was making me tear up at work because I was listening to it at work because that's where I listen to pretty much all my audiobooks, and I I just could not, you guys. Oh my god, I love this book so much. I even did a spread for it in my life journal. And I'm just obsessed with it, and it's like don't you wish you were here? Yeah, I really, really do. It just makes me so happy. And I love this book with my whole heart. It's just the best thing in the entire world. And I'm definitely probably going to be doing a reread of it soon because, like I said, I listened to the audiobook and then I like immediately purchased the physical copy. So I haven't actually read the physical copy yet, but I'm trying to wait until I get some page flags. That way I can I'm going to annotate, which I've never annotated a book. I've tabbed books before, but I've never actually written in one. Probably gonna with this one because, like I said, all-time favorite book. I am obsessed. Love it so much. Like 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, like all the things. I would give this every single star in the galaxy if I could, because it is just that damn good. So basically, if you haven't read this yet, you need to read it. All about this this man named Linus who has this job that he's very, very good at his job. He's very meticulous in his job. Basically, he goes to these orphanages that have magical children, and he's basically kind of like a caseworker, and he's just making sure that the children are safe and that they're taken care of well and that nothing is amiss in that type of way. And so he just basically reports back to his management until one day extremely upper management calls him in and they're assigning him a case that's pretty far away. And he ends up going to this orphanage right here. And this one's a little different than any of the other ones he's been in, just because the children are even more extraordinary than what he's used to. Also, that the headmaster of the orphanage, Arthur, is very much a... what do I want to say about Arthur? He's just very much his own person, and he fully embraces it, but he also really loves those children, like, with his entire heart and soul, and it's really cute to see. And it's just about him, like, you know, investigating their orphanages and learning more about the children that live there and everything, and it's just fantastic. Those kids stole my heart. I love this book so much. And yeah, okay, we're gonna be done with that now, because I'll just keep on and on and on. Was The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta, which is a book that everybody has been reading recently just because it is a newer release, and obviously June was Pride Month, so a lot of people were reading it. But all about a black teen who is discovering his identity and what it means to be queer and black, and he ends up joining up with a drag group in college, which I loved because I was actually a part of a drag club when I was going to university. It was called Androgynous, and yeah, it was a really, really fun time. Unfortunately, I didn't get to stay in the club very long. Oh, who was the one that was running the club? I think he ended up going abroad to study to like Italy or something, so I think that's why, or it might have been when I got my job and I just couldn't make the meetings anymore. But it was fun when I was in it, so that was cool. But I did really love The Black Flamingo. There's actually this scene after his first performance, and I just loved it so much. This is also told in verse, so it's a really quick read, but it's also very poetic and beautiful, and it's just really good. So I really enjoyed it, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Gravitation Volume 8 and Volume 9. I've been rereading this. I think this might have been the first time I read Volume 9, but finally, back here I have, no, you're sitting on the stack, but I need to just read 10, 11, and 12, and that'll be all of the volumes in the Gravitation manga. Of course, there is a sequel series called Gravitation EX, and I only have the first volume in that one, so I'll have to track the others down. This is a really old manga, so they're really hard to find. So it took me years just to find this entire first series, and I only have the first volume of the next one, so we'll see how long it takes me to get that one, but at least I can finally finish this one and feel complete. I've also been rewatching the anime, because I watched the anime when I was like 13 or something, and it's just as fun as I remember. I love these so much. They're just hilarious and a good time, and they're very feel good, and yeah, we love to see it. And then I gave both of those a 3 out of 5 just because they weren't as enjoyable as the other ones have been in that series, but I still did have a really fun time because, like, shushy. Enough said. Next book I read was Kingdom of the Wicked, which is, like, I think it's the 7th Skullduggery Pleasant book, which, these are so much fun. I just think that it's just they're so witty and they're intelligent, and I just love Skullduggery Pleasant's, like, very dry humor. It's just fantastic, and I just love the imagery of the entire thing. I think it's just so good. It's very, like, Addams Family-esque, and I really fuck with it. Yeah, so I had a really good time with this one, and of course I'm always excited to get to the next one, wherever that ends up happening. But yeah, they're always, like, some of the funnest audiobooks for me to listen to when I'm at work, just because I get really invested in them. And I gave it a 4 out of 5. Book that I had gotten from the library, and that was Dreadnought by April Daniels, which is all about a transgender main character who ends up finding a superhero who is on the verge of death, and he ends up transferring his superpowers to our main character, and basically giving her the helm of Dreadnought. He is Dreadnought, and it's really crazy because she lives in kind of an abusive household with her dad, and her mom doesn't really do anything to stop the dad, that whole shtick. But it's also really funny, and it's all about her making this friend who is a very, like, Old West type kind of character that's got, like, these guns and stuff and everything, and it's super, super cute. And I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm pretty sure that there's a sequel, which I definitely want to look into, seeing if my library has that. Of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy, which I've been wanting to read for a while, and I don't know, for some reason I just didn't think it was going to be what it was, but I did, like, really, really like the direction it went. I thought that the dichotomy of the two sisters was really interesting, because they're almost, in a way, like, they're very similar, but they're almost each other's opposites in terms of, like, personality, which I thought was super interesting. Like, I did really like it, and I'm interested to see what the next book is gonna have in store for them, because it left off on kind of a weird spot, basically. I'm being vague because it's not, like, a super long book, so it's easy to spoil, but yeah, it was pretty good. And I gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars. I read was Dear Martin by Nick Stone, which, that book destroyed me. Like, I was upset, I was crying at work, listening to the audiobook. I was just like, no, 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 this is not what I fuck with. Like this, I really liked the way that it showed all the microaggressions that people don't even realize are happening, and I love the way that our main character was checking the people that were doing the microaggressions and all that. And I just wish what had happened didn't happen in the book, because I was really upset. I was straight up just bawling my eyes out. Just thinking about it now, I'm getting teary again, because it just nope, 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 no. Anyway, 5 out of 5 stars. Moving right along. A Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson, who has since become a favorite author now. Oh my god. Okay, she just has the most poetic writing style, even when it's not verse, and I just, so good, so good. It just, like, every single word she writes just hits you right in the soul, in the heart. Oh my god, it's just phenomenal. Yes, yes, yes. So Brown Girl Dreaming is almost like a kind of like memoir of her life and like the things that happened while she was growing up and stuff, and it's just yes. And I gave that a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was a poetry collection, and it's titled There Are More Beautiful Things Than Beyonce, which I really liked it. I heard about this from Jesse over at Bow Ties and Books. They had mentioned it, I think, either in one of their videos or on an Instagram story, but it was really good. Oh, there was this one poem I remember, it totally like fucked me up, and it was like something about books and stuff, and it's like, you said you read it but you didn't, and I was just like, yeah, if I can find the exact like quote that I'm talking about, I'll link it down below, because like it really messed me up, you guys. You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, which was so cute. So it's all about this girl who is trying to go to this very recognized school, and she does get accepted, but she doesn't get the scholarship that she was counting on, and she lives with her grandparents, and she knows that they would sell the house to cover the costs for her, but she doesn't want them to do that. So she goes to a school where prom is like the biggest thing ever, apparently. And so whoever wins prom king and queen get scholarships to basically whatever school they want to go to. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna try to get prom queen so that I can get the scholarship money to go to the school I want, obviously. Her competitors is like a new girl, and she ends up getting a crush on her, and it is so fucking cute. Oh, I fucking love it so much. Oh, fuck your fairy tale. Yes. Anyway, so that one got a 5 out of 5. I just loved it, and I shipped them so hard. Let me just tell you. Skies by Daniel L. Jensen, which I think is like the second book I've read by Daniel L. Jensen, or maybe the third. It's one of those two. But yeah, it was good. It was fun. I don't really have a lot to say. It was just a good time. And I gave it 4 out of 5. It was Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Daly, which was like kind of a novella type thing, because it was only, I think, 200 or maybe a little over 200 pages, but it was a super short book. I read it on ebook from my library, and it was super interesting. It was kind of like the Old West meets Strange the Dreamer in a way, because basically it's all about these women who are these librarians, and it's basically like a type of world where like the government is kind of, you know, saying what you can and can't read and what kind of entertainment you can or cannot consume, that type of thing. So basically they have like a wagon type thing, and they're like going from town to town taking the people the books and then picking up the books, and it's kind of like a moving library in a type of way and everything. But basically our main character, she was in love with a girl, and I think they got like found out or something, so she ended up running away and joining them because she thinks it'll help her atone for her sins. I got a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Kingdom of Souls by Brenna Barron, which it was really good and really strong. Like the first 75%, first 60%, but there's like a turning point in the book where like you've been going on this one path and it's been like this really interesting story, but then there's like this, I don't know if you want to call it like a fork in the road or something, I don't know. But then it just goes way downhill. It goes like that. And I'm annoyed with how it ended up the last bit of it, I was just like, oh, damn it. Because I did really, really love, like, the first half, the first, like, 3/4, really enjoyed it, and then it just, like, died a slow death, basically. So that's upsetting. So I ended up giving that a 3 out of 5 stars. I'm hopeful that I'm gonna like the sequel better, though, and I think I will. So we'll see about that. Harbor Me by Jacqueline Woodson, which again became a new all-time favorite author for me this month, and oh, it was just so fucking good. And it's just like, who will harbor you? And it's like, I will harbor you, and just like the fucking thing. And basically, okay, so it's all about these 6 kids, and they're in like sort of like a special class, and the teacher is basically like, every Friday at like 3 p.m. or is it at 2, she lets them go early, and she has them go to like this old classroom that nobody uses, and they're to sit there in there for like an hour and just talk. And she doesn't stay in there with them. She just has them in there, and they just talk about whatever they want to talk about. And yeah, and that's how that ends up going. And it's just so cute, and each kid is just very much their own person, and they all have their own struggles and their own things that they're dealing with, and it's just so good. But I also was crying, and it's a short book too, but I just, every Jacqueline Woodson book I've read so far, I just cry like a baby. So that's fun. Yeah, but I really love that one. I gave it a 5 out of 5. It might be my favorite one of hers I've read so far. We'll see. This White Rage by Carol Anderson. I read this for the Blackout buddy read that I took a part of, and I'm really glad that I did read it. I did not give it a star rating just because I feel like it's kind of shady to give a star rating to this, you know what I mean? Like, you can't really put a star rating on the suffering of people, and because this is a non-fiction book, it's like, you know, and it's all these facts and everything, so I didn't put a star rating on it, but I did enjoy it, and I thought it was very informative, and definitely something that everybody who considers themselves an ally should be reading. It's The Last True Poets of the Sea, which fucked me up, because I went into it knowing there was going to be a sapphic romance, and then it starts, and then you're just like, but then you get it later, and you're like, oh. So that was like a reenactment of me while I was listening to the audiobook. I was like, oh. Yeah, but it was really good. It's all about this girl who basically, her family's been going through a tough time with her brother and stuff, and she went to a boarding school and she got kicked out or whatever or something, and they got annoyed with her, so they sent her to go stay with her uncle for the summer. So she's there, and she got a job at like this kind of like one of those aquarium type places, but the ones that kind of have a little bit more of like the interactive stuff. I don't know how to explain it, okay? But it's like a coastal town, and her family is like a big deal because like her ancestors like helped find the town or some crazy nonsense like that. But it's really good. It's very poetic. It's just, it's beautiful, and I loved it, and I had a great time, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was actually a Neck Alley arc that I got, and it was called Night Owls and Summer Skies, which it was sapphic, which is why I wanted to read it in the first place, and it was just so cute. I've never been to a summer camp, just like FYI, never did that, was never in the cards for me. I'm glad I didn't. I don't think I could have stood it, I don't know. So I never went to one, but I got all the vibes that you would get if you actually went to a summer camp, so I feel like I've been now. The conversations that are had in here about like consent, and you know how fucked up the main character's mom is, because like, listen, and you find out about this in the first chapter, but like her mom is like Evil, evil, evil. We hate her. Yeah, anyway. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the romance. The romance was cute as fucking shit. They have the greatest fucking banter. Their banter was so good. Yes. I think the only thing I said was, like, I didn't like the formatting of the actual, like, book itself because it's in that galley arc, so I think I said that or something. But I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really had a fun time. It gave me all the summer camp vibey things. Yes. As The Wicker King by Kay Ancrum. Let me tell you something. Oh man. This probably would have been my favorite book of the month if I hadn't already read The House in the Cerulean Sea. But this was definitely my second favorite book of the month. So, this is a book that's very, like, it's set in our real world, but at the same time it has, like, magical, mystical elements that are going on, and also it's told, like, in a weird way, where, like, this keeps happening and it starts blacking out, and just all kinds of stuff. But it's so good. It's a love story. It's a, some ways, it's a hatred story. It's friends to lovers. It's very the Raven Boys-esque. It's, I don't know. It's like everything you could ever want in a book, I guess. But, well, besides The House in the Cerulean Sea. But if you're looking for, like, okay, let me say this. The House in the Cerulean Sea is like serotonin being injected into your veins. It's so damn good. This is, like, very good, but it's way more depressing, and this is really, really dark vibes. So, like, The House in the Cerulean Sea is like Beltane vibes. This is like Samhain vibes. Are the other witches here getting what I'm putting down? We're gonna go with that. This was 5 out of 5. I loved it. I read it in one sitting. It was that damn good. I cannot wait to read The Way to Stars, which is like the companion book to this. It's gonna be so good. So yes, we love it. The next book I read was a graphic novel, and that was Mooncakes, which was the cutest fucking thing. It's all about this girl, and she lives with her grandmothers, and they run like this bookshop. It's like kind of like an occult bookshop, and she's a witch, and they go around and they're like helping people out with any of the problems that they're having, and they help them with their magic and stuff. And basically her childhood friend, who is a werewolf, comes back, and a little romance ensues, which the werewolf is non-binary, which is just, it's just cute. It's just real cute. The art style is adorable. We love to see it. And then I gave Mooncakes 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. Third was Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky, which is one of the Rick Riordan Presents books, and it was so good. Basically, it kind of opens your eyes to this whole entire other mythology, which is, I'm pretty sure, like, African inspired, and it's stuff I have never heard about, except for, what was it? High John, yes. Okay, High John is in it. And I do remember hearing about that legend when I was like little. I think I was like elementary school when I heard about High John. So I want to go back and like look into High John again, because I remember hearing about it when I was young, but I don't remember like the key factors of it. So I just want to go back to that, because yes, when that got mentioned, I was like, wait, I've heard of High John before. So yeah. But I really enjoyed it. It was super good, and I'm just telling you that middle grade fantasy audiobooks are the shit. Yes, so I think I gave that one like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So good. It was Peter Darling by Austin Chant, which any Peter Pan retelling, I just love Peter Pan so much. I've loved Peter Pan since I was little. And this is such a good one. So basically it's a trans Peter Pan retelling, and I loved it. I fucking loved it. I don't want to tell you anything about it because it's short and I'll spoil it. And really, it's just better if you just go into it and you read it and you find out for yourself. But oh my god, it's like every fucking like thing I've ever wanted in my entire life. Basically, if you watched Once Upon a Time season 2 and there was a certain thing that you wanted that never happened between some characters, this book is gonna give it to you. 4.5 out of 5. Loved it. The book I read was Anger's Gift by Marco Shira, which broke my heart and my soul and my will to live, basically. I was so fucking upset reading this book. It was another one I was listening to the audiobook at work, and when it hit that point, and you know what point I'm talking about if you've read it, when it hits that one like point, that part, I lost my fucking mind. And I was like, this is gonna be like Supernatural, right? Like Supernatural, please let it be like Supernatural. And then I was just like a lost cause. I was so sad. But it's a really good book. It's really an important, impactful read. It touches on police brutality and like all the things that everybody's been talking about lately because of all the fucked up shit going on in the world. Yeah, but I cried and I hated it. But I loved it. If you get what I mean. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, and I'm never gonna be the same. So thanks, Marco Shira. Thanks. I read was Neverworld Awake by Marisha Pessel, which is like a Groundhog Day thriller type deal. Basically, all these friends that were friends in high school, they are on their way to go to like a party or something, and it's raining, and they end up getting in a car crash, and they wake back up at their friend's mansion, and this old man comes to the door and says, hey, basically you all have to unanimously decide which one of you is going to live and the rest are going to die. So there you go. It's pretty good though, but it was really fucked up, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. The next book I read was Four Dead Queens. I enjoyed it. I loved that there was some sapphic shit going on. Also, it was a total mindfuck. Like, bitch. It was the biggest mindfuck. But I liked that a lot, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. The next book I read, The Brilliant Death. So fucking good. Oh my god. So it's like in my review I even said, the brilliant death of this book is to the gender binary and heteronormativity, and I stand by that. I don't really need to say anything else. I don't even want to tell you guys anything else. Just read it. It's that damn good. 5 out of 5. We love to see it. The name of this book is A Secret by Synonymous Bosch. She was talking about this in a middle grade rec series, and it just sounded really good of them, and like the way that it's written, it's just like, please don't read me, please don't read me, that kind of stuff. It just makes you super curious, and it makes you want to do it because reverse psychology. So yeah, I had a really fun time with this. I gave it a 4 out of 5. And then the last book I read was Full Disclosure, which was also very good. It's all about our main character who, full disclosure, it's all about our main character who, when she was born HIV positive, and it's all about her going to a new school and basically starting over because of something that happened at her previous school. And she has 2 dads, and it's just really fucking cute, and oh my god, I love the relationship between her and her 2 dads. Iconic. We love to see it. Yeah, and it's basically just about that, and her like falling in love and her friendships and all that good stuff, and it's just very impactful, very good, and I just really freaking loved it. So yeah, And that was a 4 out of 5 stars. Are the 31 books that I read in the month of June. And let me know what you guys read. Let me know how everything's going for you. Are you stressed? Are you good? What's going on? Let me know. Yeah, maybe tell me your most recent favorite book that you have read, and if you also love The House in the Cerulean Sea, or are you heartless? And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.